Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Solana. I do want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. You should do your own research before investing money into crypto. If you haven't seen the previous update, make sure to watch that before watching this one. It's going to be linked in the top right-hand corner of the screen. Now, let's jump into the TA. So taking a look at Solana on the daily chart, as you can see, we have multiple support blocks, multiple support levels here that we want to take a look at. I also want to drop in the Fibonacci retracement from the November 2021 high to the July 2000, or I should say the May 2021 low. And our 1.618 target is going to be sitting all the way down here at $3.81. Let me just move it down, move it to the side like that so you can see the levels. As you can see, that's $3.80. And so far, we have lost the first fib level on this retracement, which we printed in May, and we lost it all the way down here in November. And as you can see, we're on our way down. Our minimal target is going to be $9.36, which is the 1.272. And the next level is going to be the 1.414 Fibonacci level at $6.46. And obviously, afterwards, we have the 1.618. So I would say the 1.618 is quite unlikely in this scenario. However, if we see Bitcoin dropping back down to $10,000, then it would be possible for Solana to have a very strong, large wick all the way down here to $3.80. That would be very possible. So in that case, you could have some buy limit orders set up in advance if you want to catch this wick, because you know, these capitulations can happen anytime during the day. You could be sleeping, you could be working. So if you have your buy limit orders set up in advance, I think that's very smart. Now let's zoom in and see what's going on here in the top support block. As you can see, we landed on this level here, $11.80. We closed the candles exactly on that level. Monday is the last update. November 21st is when we had the previous update for Solana, and we've seen a 27% move to the upside since. And I told you that this would be a good level to perhaps dollar cost average in. You're in a falling wedge and you're breaking out. So it was very likely that we would see some sort of a move to the upside, and we were very overextended from the 20 EMA as well, and we still are, because the last touch we had off of the EMA was November 8th, and we haven't had any touches since. And you still have a technical target at $17.55. So maybe there is a chance that we might start doing something like this. We print this higher low, and then we have a move to the upside. We retest the top of the support block, and the technical target is going to be met. And then we're going to have another move to the downside. Now, whether that's going to be back to the support or maybe even lower than that, I don't know. Depends on the news. You want to take a look at the buys, at the sells, at the volume. You want to take a look at the sentiment. You want to take a look at the FTX situation and how that can still affect the Solana's price. So multiple factors playing in here. So personally, if you're not involved with Solana and you don't really want to get involved with it, or you never had any interest in the project, I would say, you know, at these cheap prices, don't even bother doing so, because you're going to be exposing yourself to even more risk. So you're going to be adding unnecessary risk to your investment because of the situation with FTX. And on top of that, Solana's developers are not really, you know, I don't see how they're progressing in terms of their blockchain. It's hard to even call their blockchain a blockchain. They keep promoting these NFT shoes and it's, you know, let's not get into that, but I'm just saying that if you're not really interested in Solana and you see this price, you see this cheap price, and you're thinking, well, I might buy into Solana, trust me, you're better off without it if you haven't had any. But if you really like the project, I'm not saying it's a bad project, don't get me wrong. If you want to get involved with it, feel free to do so. But I'm just saying that there are other options that I'm looking at right now, and I'm dollar cost averaging into other projects. Now, if you have Solana right now, you could be swing trading to increase your position. You could be staking, whatever you're doing. Hopefully the price recovers. I really don't want anyone to be losing any money when that's unnecessary. But yeah, I'm not buying into Solana right now, and I'm not going to be buying into Solana at all, probably because, you know, the more research I do into it, the less bullish I am on it, right? Obviously, there is a chance that we might enter another bull market and we might see all-time high prices for Solana. But for now, in my opinion, that doesn't look very likely. However, I could be wrong, obviously. So you had a 20% or 27% chance for a swing trade here. Obviously, you didn't know where we're going to get rejected, so you could have waited for a 20% move to the upside and you could have taken some profits. That's pretty bad. That's not a bad trade in my opinion. Now, taking a look at the next support block below here, as you can see, between $9.86 to $7.66. If we start losing the top support block, I would imagine that this is our next destination and this is going to be our next sort of trading range here. We're going to be doing something like this in this area and then we're going to break out eventually. I think spring 2023 is when crypto starts recovering. Until then, we're going to be seeing these dips. We're going to potentially see new lows for Bitcoin. Anything is possible. It's very arrogant to say that the bottom is in and stuff like that. Obviously, it looks like the bottom is in. However, more bearish news can start coming out and the price can drop in a second. And so it's really not necessary to know when the bottom is really in, because all of these prices here are cheap regardless of which project you're looking at. So I would just, that's my way of thinking about it. Now, jumping into the daily RSI here, as you can see, we did exactly what I said we were going to do, and we retested this channel's previous support as resistance. So this was a major support level for us. We kept bouncing off of this level multiple times, and now we lost that level. We came back up to retest it as resistance, and we came back down. So this was a good area to sell your Solana, to buy back in at a cheaper price, okay? I'm not saying that this was a good level to sell just because you want to get out of the project. I'm saying that if you were to sell here and buy back in at a further pullback, well, yeah, in that case, that is what I would have done, because you had a pretty strong break to the upside. You had the RSI running into a resistance level. So I would say that was a pretty good trade. Also, you have this ascending support trend line. And the next time you have a capitulation, I would target it for entries. So if you see the RSI do something like this, you may want to enter at this level here. Okay, so keep that in mind. And let's switch over to the Binance website. And switching over to the weekly chart, as you can see, we are slowly but surely approaching this support block, $10 to $7.87. I have multiple charts with multiple different setups. That's the easiest way to know what's going to happen, right? To be ready for all possible outcomes. So this potentially could be our bottom structure here, where we might land in this zone, right? And you may, consolidate here for quite a bit. But I would say the most important thing to be looking out for here is this diagonal resistance trend line, because you've been hitting that level since December 2021, another retest in March 2022. So this is basically going to be our bear market resistance. But after we break that and potentially have that backtest of support, I think we are going to be printing higher highs and higher lows from there, because this is a major resistance level. Once you break a multi-month diagonal resistance level like that, you typically see a lot of volume behind the move. That means you're going to see a strong breakout. If the breakout isn't as strong and it's, barely a breakout, then there is a good chance that you might just come back down below it. And that's going to be considered a fake out. So usually when you break a major resistance level, there is a lot of volume behind that level, because the bulls are coming together and saying, well, I think we can beat the bears on this level. And that's exactly what they do. So if you want to wait until we reach these support levels that we created in June, that's totally fine. I think that's a very smart thing to do when you accumulate here and you basically enter at these levels and you want to exit at $30, let's say, because that's a strong resistance level here. You may do something like this and run into that level and then have a move, a retracement back down. So that could be a nice area for you to take some profits at. Like I said, from where we are right now, that's a 130% move to the upside. I think that's very, very smart. And considering the fact that we are very overextended from the 20 EMA on the weekly chart, there is a strong chance that we might see another back test of resistance off of the 20 EMA. And your bottom support here, I would say if we start crashing, I really would think, I would imagine this would be our absolute bottom at $4.44, because this is the high that we printed in September 2020. And from there, after we broke that, we haven't seen a back test of support. And that's exactly what could happen here if we see another capitulation. So yeah, $4.44, that's a great level to keep an eye on. And for the weekly RSI, obviously we are in this channel down pattern. So potentially, if things stay the way they are right now and we adhere to the pattern's resistance and support, we could be on our way down here and retesting the support level of the structure of the channel. And from there, that could be our blast into a nice trade. But unless we break out of this, we still have to assume that the price is going to adhere, the RSI is going to adhere to this channel down pattern, because we can't guess if it's going to break out or not, right? We need volume, we need news, we need Bitcoin to be bullish, because Solana is not going to do that on its own, especially with everything that's happened. Stochastic oversold, great buying opportunity based off of that. The MACD sort of wanted to go for a bear cross, but now we're potentially going to see a moving average squeeze when the yellow moving average bounces off the red signal line. That's also possible. But yeah, this is looking good based off all of the indicators. This is a great area to dollar cost average in at, but once you take a look at the project and the news surrounding it, you know, you just have a lot of unnecessary risks, especially when there are a lot of cryptos who are a lot more secure. I think this is not the top project that you should be looking at. However, like I said, if you have some Solana, you believe in the project, and you know that the team is going to do justice by you, then obviously these are great prices to be accumulating SOL tokens at. If I missed out anything important, please let me know down below in the comment section. As always, feel free to check out my Patreon. The link is down below in the description, and feel free to follow me on Twitter. I'm going to see you in the next one. Goodbye and good night.